Welcome or welcome back to Watts the Obsession. This is Kelly bringing you the Kiely Rodni case. So the recording that you're going to hear is from Ick and Mel's channel. This is a person named Megan who called in on August 10th. So this date is really important, August 10th. Now remember, the dive team first went into Prosser Lake on August 9th, and then they went back in. So it's important to remember that this call is from August 10th. This call has been out there. I haven't really known what to think about this caller. And I believe it was yesterday, the same person, Megan, was on a channel Behind the Crimes with Michelle Sutton. I actually really like this Michelle Sutton. I'm going to, of course, leave her channel in the description box. Click the link, check it out. The same person, Megan, was on a channel Behind the Crimes with Michelle Sutton. I actually really like this Michelle Sutton. I'm going to, of course, leave her channel in the description box. Click the link, check it out.
So here we go.
916, how you doing?
It's me, Megan.
Hi, Megan. How you doing?
Megan, it's me. Good. Okay, I want to clarify some things so you guys can figure that, so you guys can help. I talked to Sam last night, late last night, and I went over a whole bunch of things. They were going back and forth the car during the party when they told them to do everything else. They went then back to the party.
You're kind of breaking up. Can you
stayed
say
there, and
it's kind of breaking up a little bit.
Okay, so Sam was at the party with Kiely. They were at the party. They were going back and forth to the car. They came back and they were going to go home. And Kiely said to Sam, "How much are you okay to drive?" Kiely said, "No, I'm not going to drive yet, and I want to stay longer." So they went back to the party and stayed for a few minutes longer, like a half an hour. That's when Sam found a friend that was completely sober and drove home with that person. But there was a person that stayed there they were camping out there. If they get too drunk, they do camp out there. That is something we do in this town.
Oh, okay. 916. Is this Megan?
I did lose you.
Hey.
I lost you, yes. Okay, so I'll try. I am in bad cell service because that's what happens up here. But what it comes down to is that they were trying to figure out how they were going to get home. They were all talking to each other to try to figure out what they were going to say to their parents because they wanted to stay longer at the party. Some of them wanted to stay later. Some of them wanted to spend the night. It's known fact that in the town that if they get all of their parents knew where they were and have said to them if they get too drunk to stay there. That's what we do in this town. It's been known for 20 years. So they've stayed out there many times. Can you hear me better now?
Yes.
Okay, I can hear you too because I'm listening to you on there. So there's a little bit of a delay in it, but that's okay. So what I was just trying to say is that they were going back and forth on who was going to stay later. They thought that Kiely stayed the night out there, but at 8 o'clock in the morning, when people went to go leave, her car had been gone. So and the last time that Sam saw her was at 12:30 when they texted each other.
I was the last person to see her and talk to her, actually. She called me at 12:36 in the morning asking if I still needed a ride home from the party, even though about 10 minutes before that I had told her, I'm leaving. I already have another ride because I didn't want to drive home with her. And so I had told her that, but she still ended up calling me at 12:36 asking if I needed a ride, and she sounded just really drunk, I guess. So
and the last time that Sam saw her was at 12:30 when they texted each other, and they said they were coming home, that she was at the party still, and everybody was kind of just whining, starting to leave. So the only thing that they don't know is who saw her leave. They can't find out who saw her leave. I did find out there was something that's happened at the party, not bad on anything else, but it hasn't been very much talked about because I asked this question and it just kind of shot from there. So if someone knows what happened later in the party, nothing bad, and just something that happened later in the party that was a small thing and it started then, that would be helpful to know if where she was and who she left with after that.
So the thing that happened, you guys aren't making that public, though? You're not really talking about it? Are you able to say what happened, or?
I don't know. I guess I can say there's a fire that was started, like a bonfire, that was started later in the evening, but when a lot of the people were there at the beginning of the party, there was no fire. And when I mentioned a fire, they said it started out later. So I said, did anybody see Kiely after the fire started when they were all sitting around? They said no. So they need to know who left before the fire started at the place than before.
Do you know if there was any like reportings that like anybody weird or sketchy out there, like, or anybody that stood out? Like, have you heard anything about anything like that? Amazing.
I'm hearing everything you're saying, and I'm not trying to save Sam's ass. I'm not trying to make problems. I'm trying to get the truth out. No, they don't know where I'm nervous. That's why I don't have very much service. So I only can say exactly what I have time to say before I have to call back again. No, they don't know where I'm nervous. That's why I don't have very much service. So I only can say exactly what I have time to say before I have to call back again. No one is trying to save anybody Sam behind. I'm not trying to save Sam's behind. We just want to find Kiely. The party was going out of control. Yes, there were people from the Auburn, from the Bay Area, all the way to Reno and to Sacramento, the whole basin. We have short-term rentals up here that people come up and stay. If you have a short-term rental in Tahoe, call your neighbors, have them check your security cameras, have them check your garages. The car is not in the water. It's not. They've looked in the water. They've had divers. They've had everywhere else. And there's only one way in and one way out of the party. Most of the kids stayed overnight. Some of them left. The girls and guys do this all the time. They tell their parents, you're 16 years old, you get messed up, and then you stay where you land, and you get home the next morning. That's what we're trained to do. That's how we know how to do it.
Hi. Okay, I'm trying. Hold on. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I hear you.
Is it better? Maybe since you're calling me and I got it. How I know, Sam, I can hear you if I go onto your thing, but I can't hear you if I talk. You don't always come through because of the lag. So I can hear you when I go back onto your website. I can then see what's going on, but I can't necessarily hear you. I've known Sam for approximately 5 years, and she was good friends with my daughter. We've taken her camping. We've hung out with her before. She's been around my family. I know her very well. It's a small town that we live in, and so everybody does know everybody. A lot of these kids all know each other, but this was the problem, is that there is too many people that showed up. It was actually a boring party, and there was nothing going on, just drinking and lots of things that were happening at the party.